Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Sports Timeout. Today's show will put the finishing touches on the 2004 sports season with Source Sports writer Kevin Lozon. But first we'll start off the show with what is basically the sports honor roll. With the ladies first, here are the local players who made the 2004 Macomb Daily All-County Softball team. Only 2 local players get first team honors. The first of them, Henry Ford II catcher Melanie McAnally, an outstanding junior year, 8 home runs. She led the team in runs driven in, and she played great behind the plate. She's joined on the first team by Stevenson third baseman Laura Hosty. The junior played outstanding at the hot corner for the Titans, swinging a big bat in the middle of that Stevenson order, leading the Titans to a district title. As far as second team honors, a pair of local catchers make the list. Utica junior Ashley Belling swung a big bat for the Chieftains all season long. Stevenson catcher Nikki Angieski also makes the list. The senior speedster was a switch hitter for Stevenson this past year. She's joined by teammate Allison Hugalier. A shoulder injury forced Hugalier to move from shortstop to second base in 2004, but her defense was sparkling, helping lead the Titans to a district title. She's joined on the second team by fellow second baseman Allison Lynn, a senior out of Utica. Lynn's joined by teammates third baseman Amanda Hunt, a junior, and outfielder Kim Donnelly, just a sophomore for the Chieftains. Junior Danielle Gunas of Stevenson rounds out the second team list. Third team honors go to a pair of local pitchers. Stevenson junior Jessica Krebs, JK outstanding as a pitcher offensively and defensively for Stevenson, leading them to a district title. Katie Charbonneau out of Henry Ford II also makes the third team. Charbonneau, big strikeout totals in her junior campaign. Shortstop Jessica Fleming out of Sterling Heights makes third team, along with teammate and outfielder Melissa Tarasoff, only a junior, and Henry Ford II junior utility player Chelsea Reichert. Honorable mention accolades go to Sterling Heights sophomore Amy Mayuri, Stallion senior Jennifer Paiwanski, along with fellow senior Melissa Smoots. Katie Weir of Eisenhower, the senior, makes the honorable mention list, as does Titans sophomore Molly Dwyer. Ford's Melanie McAnally was named the County Player of the Year. Time now to look at who made the all-county list on the boys' side. A pair of Titans get first-team honors, including Stevenson senior Mark Verkest. Offensively, 2 home runs, 30 runs driven in, and a .373 average on the season. That was bolstered by a .600 average with a homer and 6 runs driven in the playoffs. On the mound, Stevenson's number 1 pitcher went 6-5 with 3 saves, striking out 69 in just over 67 innings of work. He also posted a 3.33 earned run average. Verkest is joined on the first team by teammate and junior Andrew Stafford. Stafford was a shortstop and a pitcher for Stevenson. Amongst other things, 3 home runs, 25 runs driven in, 11 steals, and a .465 batting average his junior campaign. On the mound, he was 5-1 with a 3.94 earned run average and 48 innings of work, including a shutout in the district title game. A Ford player makes all-county first team, and it's Aaron Hacius. 38 hits, 1 home run, 17 runs driven in his junior campaign. His .475 batting average was the 3rd highest in Ford history. On the mound, he was 2-0 with 3 saves and a 3.5 earned run average. Local players making the second team, Ford sophomore Robbie Knight, county high 7 wins in 2004. Utica shortstop and pitcher senior Matt Maruli makes second team. Eisenhower catcher and 3-year starter Mike Thornton makes second team. Sterling Heights first baseman Tom Borgula, a senior, hit over .400 his senior year, joined by his teammate, senior Matt Kasmer. Stallion shortstop also hit over .400 as a senior. Ryan Joseph makes second team, the Ford junior outfielder. He's joined by Mike Ludostansky of Stevenson, the senior outfielder, and Manny Romero, senior utility player for Eisenhower. Local players making honorable mention include Ford shortstop and pitcher, junior Rudy Jovanovski, Stallion outfielder and second baseman Paul Gully, and Eisenhower junior Danny Metcalf. Stevenson's Andrew Stafford was named the County Player of the Year. His team, the Stevenson Titans, were the County Team of the Year, and Dan Barnabo, in his final year at Henry Ford II, was named the Coach of the Year. Barnabo was just one of a few longtime coaches to step down with the end of the 2003-2004 school year. Here they are. We'll start out with the fall sports. First up, Rhoda Stempen stepping down after 6 years at the helm at Henry Ford II girls basketball. When she took over the program, it was struggling, but Stempen turned them into a winner. They won 3 straight MAC Red titles from 2000 until 2002, including a district in 2002. Her career record at Ford, 67 wins and 64 losses. On to the winter sports. At Eisenhower, Kelly Sadowski calling it quits as the Eagles' head volleyball coach. In her last year at Eisenhower, Sadowski started out strong, but the Eagle team faded in the MAC White and in the postseason, finishing 23-26-4 overall. Also stepping down, no news here, Jim Barker at Henry Ford II, a legendary career out of Coach Barker, the only coach the school had ever known. 512 wins, 191 career losses, 12 league titles, 11 district titles, 2 regionals. 6 times a Barker-led team was named the Macomb County Team of the Year. Also stepping down after an outstanding career at Ford, Dan Barnabo, the longtime baseball coach. 442 career wins, offset by only 305 career losses. Barnabo's Falcons won 7 league titles under his tenure, captured 6 district crowns, 2 regionals, and in 1990, Barnabo's team won it all, the MHSAA State Championship. Time now to take a quick look at the alumni report and see how our local stars fared in college this past spring. Matt Marulli had a great year playing infield at OU. Mark Malik, an outstanding season at U of D, but he'll have to find a new team next year. U of D's baseball program no longer in service. Their softball program is, though. Kristen Martin starring there, Jeff Dubé, a great season at Hillsdale, and finally Dave Borkowski of Sterling Heights has reappeared in the majors with the Baltimore Orioles. Last year on Sports Timeout, we did a story on some area football players playing semi-pro football in Pontiac. In that story, former Titan Brian Zachary expressed his desire to start his own semi-pro team right here in Macomb County. Well, Zachary delivered, as this summer the Macomb Strength celebrated their inaugural season with a roster full of former Stevenson Titans.
You know, being from Macomb County, how much talent we had out here. So we decided to come out here and, you know, get back to our roots, so to speak, and start a team out here.
Getting back to his roots meant getting on the horn and convincing high school teammates Sam Barackman, Rod Hunsinger, and Phil Russo to leave the Macos and join the team. 4 other Titan alums new to semi-pro football also came out to help fill the balance of the roster.
We had to recruit a lot of players, local players. We did a lot of recruiting through flag football leagues, and you know, once you give a player who knows his career is over after high school or college another opportunity to play, it kind of all came together, and we got a lot of guys out for the team, so it worked out well.
The final roster set includes players as young as 19 and as old as 35.
We all have the love for the game, and football is just something that we love to follow, and some of us didn't go on after high school, and some of us still love the game so much that we thought that we could make a team for us, and it's just seemed to work out good, and it's really about the camaraderie more than anything else.
Leaving a program like Stevenson, you know, it was a tough program, real good athletes and stuff. I thought what I should do with my life from then on, you know. I had a few chances to go to a couple small colleges. I just didn't think that competition was, you know, that well for me. So I came out here where I knew a couple guys, Sam, Brian, who told me to come out, and this has been great so far.
You know, we all come from the same program, so, we're all on the same page, so to speak, and it's a great opportunity, and it's something that, you can't really replace, and I'm enjoying it every day, every practice. We got about 9 Stevenson guys on the team, and they all show up, and I can't say more about them. They're great players.
Keeping with the Titan theme, the strength didn't have to go far to find an offensive coordinator. Stevenson grad Mike By, son of Titan coach Rick By, does the play calling. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Is there a lot of Titan plays in the playbook?
Quite a few, yeah. Our offense is very similar to Stevenson's offense. The difference being that our quarterback is real mobile, so we try to use him in certain situations. But we're a power team, and we like to run the ball. We like to go I-backs and blast it, and just try to outpower teams.
Even though the Stevenson gang give the strength a high school kind of feel, make no mistake about it. This is no high school team.
Get that loud, yeah. That's cover 2.
Everybody out here is an athlete. Everybody's always busting their butts, trying to make it to the next level. So these are also grown men too. So it's not little push around guys.
If you're not in the gym at least a good 3 to 4 days a week, then you're going to fall behind the rest of the crowd. I mean, keeping yourself in physical condition is ultimately the #1 key in this league, that's for sure. It's definitely a step up. It's not a easy league at all, that's for sure.
Semi-pro football keeps college eligibility intact and dreams of playing professionally alive. Barackman has just committed to Grand Rapids Community College with the hopes of moving on to play Division I football. For the rest of the strength, this season is about trying to finish the way they started. Their 3-0 preseason record has them ranked at the top in the semi-pro AA national polls.
We're pleased with that, but the ultimate goal is to go undefeated this season and win our league and then get a bid at a national championship.
1, 2, 3, straight!
The Strength won their first game of the season 24-14. Time now for a break on Sports Timeout. When we return, we'll unveil the Spring Player of the Year winners with Source sports writer Kevin Lozon.
Want to know how the Sterling Heights Police, Fire, and Public Works Department utilize your tax dollars? Then watch Sterling Heights at your service every day at 8:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m.
We get a kick out of Sterling Heights Television.
Hi, I'm Mario Impemba of Fox Sports Detroit, and you're watching Sports Timeout.
Hi, and welcome back to Sports Timeout. As promised, Kevin Lozon in the studio for the second half here, and we'll be talking about kind of the Player of the Year stuff from the spring. We'll also get into our predictions, because our next timeout we'll be talking about football. Believe it or not, it's kind of right around the corner, and we'll see how bad of a predictor you are and how much I know.
Well, according to our predictions in the spring, maybe we should take a reprieve from that next year.
Yeah, we'll have guest celebrity predictors or something like that. But anyway, we'll get right into it. Start out with the Baseball Player of the Year. It was a good year for baseball teams, but who did you vote for?
I voted for Andrew Stafford from Stevenson. He was a field general really as a junior and as a sophomore last year for Stevenson. Kid has a great glove at shortstop. He puts the bat on the ball. He hit, I think, probably 460 or so this year. The kid is just a leader, but he's a silent leader. And the one thing we saw towards the end of the year this year with him is Coach Emanuel needed a #2 starter and gave the ball to Andrew, and he went out there the last couple weeks of the MAC Red season and then throughout the districts and just did a great job.
Yeah, threw a shutout in the district final as an underclassman, so he'll be back next year. I went with Mark Verkest. I thought about Stafford. Stafford's certainly more versatile. He does everything really well. There's nothing he doesn't do well. He's an integral part in that order, and he stepped up with Brian Martek going down. But I voted for Verkest. He was their #1 pitcher. He was probably the most dominating pitcher in the area. He went up against the tougher teams and the tougher pitchers, so his record, he did have 6 wins, but his record didn't quite reflect, as did Stafford's. But he was a good hitter at the plate. He had like 30 runs driven in, so Verkest was a big-time talent, too.
See, he slumped, though, in the middle of the year offensively. Pitching was there all year. I think he only had 1 or 2 bad starts, but other than that, when Coach Joey Emanuel gave him the ball, he knew he would get 6, maybe 7 innings out of him, and scored 3-4 runs for him, and he knew he was in a ball game.
Yeah, he was a workhorse. He had hit almost 600. I think he hit 600 in the playoffs. He did really well. I voted Verkest #1, but the winner for that was Andrew Stafford. I voted
1 for 1.
Exactly. Well, I voted Stafford second, but well-deserving Andrew Stafford, the winner, and he is the Timeout Player of the Year.
Maybe I should give you your props for the softball.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a moment. But Verkest was second. Mike Thornton of Eisenhower had a great career up at Ike. He finished third. And Robbie Knight, only a sophomore at Henry Ford II, finished fourth. So
the future's looking bright for Ford High School with Robbie Knight leading the charge.
Yeah, they're going to have a real good team next year. We'll get that in a little bit. Now we move on to softball, and for this one, I'll start off. I went with Melanie McAnally. She was outstanding. She had 8 home runs this year out of Henry Ford II, only a junior, another underclassman, and she controlled the game. You didn't see her throwing out a lot of runners because when she was behind home plate, people just flat out didn't run.
Right.
It was station-to-station baseball, and she had a heavy influence on the game. And she was the Barry Bonds of high school softball, I said, because people would pitch around her or she'd hit home runs. So.
Or how about the Pudge Rodriguez of softball in this area?
Yeah,
I mean, you're right. She did have a great year. She's probably one of the most feared hitters. I mean, even her foul balls.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I saw Coach Desmond back up about 10 yards when she came up just so he wouldn't get hit. Just a fierce hitter, fierce competitor, lays it all on the line. I went with Allie Hugler from Stevenson.
Another good choice.
Another good choice. She was a senior, short in stature but big in heart. The reason why I chose her was the fact that she was the leader of that Stevenson team, and they went on to the regional. Without her and the sacrifices she had to make this year, going from shortstop to play second base this year because of a shoulder injury, and she never lost a beat. She anchored that defense, and she was that spark plug they needed offensively. That's why I chose her as first.
Yeah, she's probably maybe the best defensive infielder I've seen in the 6-7 years I've been here. She was outstanding. But the winner, I'll be right on this one. McAnally was the winner, so congratulations to her. And you were wrong this time.
I was wrong.
Yeah, but Hugler finished second. Jessica Krebs, junior pitcher from Stevenson, finished third. She had a very solid year all year for the Titans. And Ashley Belling, who's kind of in McAnally's shadow, you know, any other year, if she would have, picked to be born, I guess, she would be kind of the catcher in the area. But behind McAnally cast a long shadow on Belling.
Should be a good battle next year with Ashley and Melanie both coming back.
Yeah, talented. 3 of those 4 underclassmen. So a lot coming back next year for them. Move on now to girls soccer. Kind of a tough year to pick. Girls soccer, it always seems. Soccer is a very hard sport to pick because there's not a lot of scoring. Each positions are so different. Sometimes the defensive players don't get the credit they deserve, same with goalies, etc. I voted for Kelly Amormino. Stevenson was probably the best team in the area. It was between them and Eisenhower, but head-to-head, Stevenson won once and tied once against Ike, and Kelly Amormino was, the Titans' kind of heart and soul. She never came off the field for Coach Mondu.
Let's just call her the field general. I voted for Kelly also. The girl she never backed down from anyone. Whenever a big play needed to be made, she was the one that was either getting the goal or knocking someone over to get them out of the way to take the ball away or setting up someone else. Coach Mondu just raved about her all year. Plus, they had a pretty successful season again.
Despite all the injuries, they had ton of injuries, but she was able to stay healthy and kind of keep the the pulse of that team, and really an outstanding game.
And the thing I like about her is the fact that she doesn't want to come off the field. And Coach Mondu, he likes to give everyone a break, but I think she's the one that just let me out there, Coach. I'll be fine. I'll tell you when I want to come out, and that's basically never.
Yeah, she was the Ripken of the area.
Exactly.
I guess. Second place. Kelly Amormino did win, 46 points. Second place, Katie Zundell of Ford, talented junior. Elena Sobolik of Eisenhower finished third. Tammy Edmonds of Eisenhower finished fourth.
And out of those 4 girls, any one of them could have been number 1.
Yeah, it was tough. There was some more. Terenzi was up there. You also
went with
Corfell. Yeah, Brianna Beberneck. If she doesn't get injured, she could have been the player of the year as a freshman.
Yep.
Yeah. Outstanding year for them.
Outstanding year. I mean, great spring season.
Yeah, it was. It was a really good spring season. And, well, I guess we both got 2 right, so
we're even.
not too bad. All right, so we'll move on now, talk about coaches. A lot of retirements this year. We saw a lot of great coaches that have been around for a long time go down, especially at Ford. A lot of them stepping away with Barker. He's done at Ford. Barnabo done at Ford. Rhoda Stempen, a surprise to many, done at Ford. Up at Eisenhower, Kelly Sadowski out as the volleyball coach. Any thoughts? Anyone that sticks out in your mind as far as leaving and stepping away?
Dan Barnabo, baseball coach over at Ford High School. Just had a great career over there. 25 years as varsity coach. He's the only area coach to have a state championship. And I mean, that's one feather that nobody's going to take out of his hat. He just had a great way of communicating with the players. He was able to get everything that he could out of the players in a mature and in a very positive way. Like he always said that, like when he talked to me, he said he loves the games, but he loves practice more. And he goes, that's where you get to intermix with the kids. And he's going to be missed. JV coach this year, Derek Gamfield, is going to take over for him. And now Derek has a good background too. His dad was coach up at Romeo for years before retiring before this season. So Derek's going to have some big shoes to fill there. And but he's walking into a good situation because they do have a lot of young players that are going to be coming back.
Yeah.
And this year's run to 20 wins, I mean, it's just a testament of Coach Barnable and what he was able to do as a coach to get these kids motivated and to win a lot of games.
What he told me was that the players that come back to him, he said the one thing that they always talk about is not, oh, we won this or we won that or remember this game. They missed the practice, and he's kind of a goofball in practice.
Yeah. How do you make practice fun?
I don't know.
When I played, practice was not fun.
Yeah.
But somehow he was able to make practice fun, and that's half the key to building success.
The other thing I will always remember about Dan Barnabo, more games won on suicide squeeze bunts in the last at bat. He got that team to play little ball more than any other team in the area. They year after year, they lay the bunts down.
Usually you see the little ball come into the state tournament time. That's when you see teams play. Every game he played like a state tournament game.
It doesn't matter. 1-hitter, 3-hitter,
Exactly.
your 4-hitter, cleanup hitter, you're laying down bunts if you play for Barnabo. Someone I wanted to mention, Rhoda Stempen, took over at Ford. The team won like 1 or 2 games, like her first year there, and she built them into a winner. 3 MAC Red titles. You can't dispute that. In an area that is really strong in girls basketball, they won the Red 3 years in a row. She got her district title. Had a bad year this past year, but next year it looked like they were going to reload and be strong there.
I think she had some great years winning their MAC Red titles. I think what she did this past season, even though their record didn't show it, the talent that team had lost, they lost I think 9 or 10 players from their MAC Red and district championship team that they had that year prior. What she did with that team this year just goes to show you how good of a coach she really was.
Rhoda had a baby, so that's a big factor in why she's stepping away. I don't think we're done seeing Coach Stempen in the area. I think she'll resurface in the area
somewhere.
She's still on the young side, and she's too good of a coach and I think she likes it too much to sit away for that long.
And I mean, her roots are pretty good too because her father's been a pretty good coach around the area.
Yeah, she's got some good references. We'll say that, and she did very well on her own. Now we get kind of more into maybe the fun thing. We make predictions, and we never really go back and revisit our predictions or have
Sometimes there's a reason why we don't go back.
Yeah, well,
and
this
might
true.
be
We
one
just
of
never
them.
have time for it, but somehow
let's
in
start
the
with
summer,
the good ones.
We'll start with the good ones.
Are there good ones?
The spring, there's a couple.
There's a couple.
For you,
Good.
we had to look real hard, but we found a couple. The spring predictions for you, couple good ones. Stevenson baseball, you picked them to finish 3rd. They finished
Third.
Very good.
Thank you.
Utica softball, 5th, and they finished
5th.
Not so bad. Pretty good there. All right, for me, Stevenson's baseball, 3rd. I think you were copying me. That's how you got that one right. They finished 3rd. Stevenson softball, I picked them 3rd.
And
3rd. That was a surprise many, but I
well,
thought
you pulled the right name out of the hat for that one.
Not too bad. Ike baseball, 7th. They finished 7th. Right on again. But now we get into the other ones. Somebody picked Sterling Heights baseball to finish 2nd. You want to defend yourself there? They finished.
That was a misprint. I told you that after we did the show last time. But no, I was very surprised this year.
They wound up finishing 7th in the blue.
And errors killed them all year.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised. They hit the ball. I mean, I said that they would hit the ball. I thought the defense would be a little bit better. I thought the pitching would be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely did struggle this year.
Yeah, the pitching was awful there this
Awful.
year. And Ford Soccer, I was right there with you. We thought the combination of seniors and freshmen somehow was going to work out, and they were going to be in second place. They still had a 500 season, but they finished 4th out of 5 in the red. Tough year for them.
Well, but look at the division they're in. I mean, they're not playing a cupcake for those 8 games or 10 games, whatever they have in the division. And we all know, both of us know, that in the MAC Red, especially in soccer, when 2 teams come out, it's going to be a break here or a break there, and obviously the breaks didn't go their way. They had trouble scoring goals this year, and I guess we kind of looked at the year before when they would score 7 a game. But when you're playing in MAC Red, you need 1 or 2 goals, and you don't get that many opportunities, so you got to cash in when they do occur.
For myself, my stink it up pick of the year had to have been Ford Baseball. I picked them to finish 6th in the white.
No faith in Coach Barnum.
And they finished second. Yeah, I just got done. We got done praising them, and then I kind of trashed them in the predictions. But they had almost no returners back. The ones that they had back hardly played at all. But what I didn't know is the wealth of talent they had in terms of the juniors and the sophomores coming up. That was the heart and soul of their team. Their seniors still didn't. Most of them didn't start.
You had a logical pick.
Yeah.
And logic just did not work out
right
for
out
you
the
again.
right out the window. But yeah, Barnabo did put me on the spot at the end of one of their games late in the season, gathered the whole team round and called me out on picking them. He said last in the division.
But he used that for motivation, so maybe you can be the credit of all their success this year.
That's right. My other stinker of the year, I picked Sterling Heights Soccer to finish 2nd, the girls, and they finished 6th. Who would have knew that losing
how can you go from the best
Tiffany Tizzolino would have had such a big effect? I knew they were young, and they started out like 4-1-1, but after that,
they went from first to worse.
Yeah,
and it amazed me. I really thought too that they would have a good year, but for some reason or another, things just when the snowball started going down, it turned into an avalanche, and it's unfortunate. Hopefully they can get things going again next year.
Speaking of snowballs going down, we've run down the hill and hit the tree. So thanks again for
buddy.
coming out, and we'll see you in the near
Football
future, and
starts
we'll
soon.
see how bad you can screw up the fall sports season.
I'm just following your lead.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Sports Timeout. I want to thank you for watching the show. We'll see you next time.